Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted. Can you believe it? Our first ever in-person podcast. Robin, my man, thanks for having me. We're in Robin's humble abyss. How are you doing? How are you feeling ahead of this first Barbarians game for the Springboks?
Yeah, so it's good to change up the scene a little bit. Normally, myself and Casual are looking down a computer screen and recording for you guys on the channel, but we decided to do something in person just to create a bit of variety. I know you guys have been asking for it in the comments as well, so I thought, we'll put a bit of effort in, get some hoodies made, Safa's Unscripted,
Yeah.
and go all out, and then you guys can let us know what you thought. So we're gonna have a bit of a fun episode today.
It's our first in-person one, right? So if we mess up a bit, they can't be on our case too much, right? Robin, are we the biggest idiots in the world? Now, just to give you guys some context before Robin opens up his mouth, we actually gone and did it. Saturday, we filmed the in-person podcast. It will never see the light of day. You might see a couple of clips because we are brain dead when it comes to technological abilities. We're a bit disabled when it comes to it. So we filmed our first take on probably our second or to third DOP. We filmed our first take on our eighth DOP as well because we just had problems technically with the laptop, SD cards, mics, everything just hit the fan. But hopefully we can get out a couple of clips. Yeah, well, it's the first one, right? So, but Robin, we actually went and did it. We filmed one in person, but we'll have to redo it. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Look, I'm recovering after the weekend. Myself and Casual got together, like you said. We did a bit of a in-person podcast, like we promised, and everything. Let's just say this: in terms of preparation, everything was there. But when it comes to, you know, the settings and like the intricacies of, how to do an in-person podcast, we got it all wrong. From the camera issues to the audio issues to the SD card that goes in the camera. We just ended up drinking so many beers until we eventually recorded it. And then later the next day, I tried to go and edit it, and it was just breaking up, pausing the whole time. Yeah, it was a total shit show. So we're going to have to redo that. Like Casual said, I'll post a couple clips in this video for you guys just to see the setup. Let us know what you think in terms of how things looked and what you would do differently or what you would add and that sort of thing. Because I think the whole idea of it and the concept was there. It was just those finer details that we messed up on. But rest assured, we will fix it and bring out a proper one for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And people have been calling for us to do an in-person one. We finally decided to do it, but we're just a bit silly. But anyway, as you can see, Robin's wearing a nice, lovely little green hoodie. Now, myself, I've got a grey one. I'm not wearing it now because it's cold as fuck, right? But it's a Cephas scripted hoodie. It looks very clean. If you guys like it, right? We just bought for the both of us. But if you guys like it, we'll sort you out with a bit of merch of that, right? If you want to support the channel in that way of buying a bit of Cephas unscripted thing, it's very plain and simple, very basic. But that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. Just a normal Cephas unscripted hoodie. And if you're just a fan like us, just talking a bit of shit when it comes to rugby, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. But as Robin mentioned, we got together this weekend and we had a couple of dopes in before we went to the rugby. Then we decided, okay, we're going to the rugby 15 minutes before the rugby started. That's how long we sat with trying to figure out this podcast, right? We filmed about 30 minutes of content within 4 hours. It's crazy. Then we went to the rugby and we went to go and watch the Barbarians game. And Robin, in that in-person one, we spoke about maybe it being a 15, 16, 17, 18 point game for the Boks. We beat them by 47. It was a scary performance. If you think about it, like how we spoke about the British and Irish Lions against Argentina with like 1 or 2 weeks of prep, and you can understand it being clumsy. It felt like we had about 2 months of prep for that game. somehow it just all flowed so beautifully. What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, quite surprising. So myself and Casual watched this in a restaurant. So it was quite loud and chaotic. South Africans will know how things get when the Boks play. But from what we saw, there was a lot of great cohesion in the team for like a first game of the season. We expected it was like cold, wet, rainy. Not too much rain, but it was still wet. The conditions weren't ideal for that sort of rugby, and we still managed to see some quality performances out of most of the boys in the team. So I was very happy with the performance. The the scrum cap mafia, like we spoke about last week, they turned up. I felt Tsutsuka had an amazing game. Our front row did well, and
Jager coming
Dori
back like he never
Jager
left.
back like he's never left. So quality performance, and I can't wait to see what we bring out against Italy this weekend.
Dude, literally, it felt like everyone put up their hands. And let's not over egg the pudding. It was a Barbarians team that's known for drinking a bit while they're here and then going out and playing a game. But you can only judge it on what we just saw, right? Everyone wanted to wear that green and gold. They played their hearts out. I can't think of anyone that kind of just got lost in the moment, which is something that we spoke about, right? Like getting that basics right, just doing the job. Loved how clinical we were. We didn't lose our physicality. The scrum maybe in the second half could have been a bit better, right? But we still kept up with our physicality. We got the back line moving. Like Sasha, without doing anything extraordinary, was still extraordinary every time he touched the ball. I mean, Moni Lubbock knocked over all his kicks, kicked one ball backwards, but other than that, he was brilliant, right? The only negative takeaway that I have from the game, literally the only one, is all the empty seats. That does not sound or look, or that should never look like a South African crowd there. I never want to see that again. We spoke about it before. We won't necessarily go into it, but I hope that was a lesson to Saru to say, listen, we're dropping the ticket prices again to actually play to our market. Because having ticket prices at about 2.5 to 3 to 4K is ridiculous. It is crazy. Never do that again. You're pricing your own people out of it, out of a massive spectacle like the Barbarians not selling out. Are you crazy? That's madness. But overall, fantastic, fantastic game. Who do you reckon put up their hand the most to say, listen, I'm going to fight for a position in this team?
Well, it's hard to say because for me, best player on the field, but that's obviously we saw he got man of the match. He doesn't really have to put his hand up because he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet in Ches and Kolbe. I felt Tsutsuka had an amazing game. He really carried well. He got 2 tries as well. Filled in for Sia Kolisi. So look, I don't think he'll take Sia's spot, but he definitely put his hand up to be a potential starter in that Springbok team should anything happen to Sia. So I felt he did well, and just generally it was just a solid performance from everyone. It's hard to say, someone put up their hand and they now deserve a position in the team. Like we said, it was a Barbarians game, so that's hard to say. I feel a bit bad for Jean-Luc Dupria, obviously getting injured.
He was
Kwagga then
great for the time that he was on the field, though.
yeah, he was carrying well and just doing his job. And it's just unfortunate because he now gets his chance back in the Bok jersey, and then he gets injured. So it's a tough one. But yeah, I mean, I was just mesmerized. I looked at the highlights earlier of just Cheslin Colby's. When I think he's reached
It's
his
because
like
Robin
peak.
was too drunk to remember anything, by the way, people.
Come now, casual. No, but when I rewatch it, and I'm just like, the stuff that this guy can do is crazy. He makes the opposition players look like schoolboys sometimes because they know what he's going to do. They know he's about to sidestep, but he still sidesteps them or like gets around them. So I mean, bumping off. Who did he bump off? One of the forward players,
Ricky
probably the hooker.
Riccitelli from the Blues.
How he gets this right all the time. It's always off of a line-out ball. Give it to Kolbe on the short ball. I don't know what these forwards are thinking, but he just gets it right to just bump them off every single time,
Bro,
which is just
it's
crazy.
crazy. Like, he takes the ball from Jaminet, for instance, out of there. And Jaminet is a great player, right? Steps Leicester Ganuku, leaves his ankles out there in Cape Town. I don't know how he's going to get back to France or to the Crusaders when he's getting back. His ankles are over here, right? Steps Ratumavatiki Neepkins, or Moktelea. I can't even remember who it was. Then bumps off Ricky Riccitelli. And he does this day in, day out. Like, you look at Cheslin Kolbe doing these things, and it's just like, it's getting a bit boring because of how much he does this. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then, like, in my opinion, Kolbe had like a quiet first half. Like, I thought Kurtley Orange saw the ball a bit more than Chesney, but the way that Cheslin just came into the second half and he was just like unstoppable every time he touched the ball, insane. Once again, Damian Dealinde, Jesse Creel doing their job where it's like these guys aren't even getting anywhere. Defensively, not getting through us, and we're just going to bulldoze over you. Once again, Dealinde, people talk about his distribution. What about that little dink through for Kurtley Arnson to pick up the ball in the backfield? I mean, sensational. My one talking point, and we somehow missed this, right? Like in the press conferences and stuff. I think it might have been in a press conference afterwards, but Rusty literally came out and said, well, Andre Estrazen has been shifting his time between the backs and the forwards. We might go 6-2 split and see Andre Estrazen just be there as a forward. You know, now John Klein's out as well. We don't know about Siakulisi. I don't think he's out too injured. Would you be surprised if you see Andre Estrazen running out there with the 7 jersey on his back?
No, I would. That would surprise me. I don't think he'd run out with a 7 on his back, but we can definitely now play him off the bench. Just seeing that how nicely he slotted in there. I mean, he looked like a well-off flanker. So to have him on the bench now, if you do 6-2, it's essentially a 7-1. So we'll have a scrum off reserve, whoever that will be, and then you've got Andre Esterhuizen. So if any backline player gets injured besides your scrum off, he'll slot in. And if not, he can just go into the flanker position.
I mean, you can do 5-3 with Andre Esterhuizen as one of the backline guys, and it would feel like a 6-2. The same with if you play, let's say, 6-2, but you have Kwacha there, it feels like a 5-3 as well, because Kwacha slots in anywhere in the backline as well, except for fly off or scrum off. That's just versatility. That's the thing, right? Like, Andre Esterhuizen is even bigger than Kwacha, but the one's a backline player, one's a forward player. That's why I always took the piss with Matt Williams, where he's like, I hate the 7-1, it's this nasty thing. And I'm just like, well, if Ireland just played Bundiaki from the bench, that would be a 6-2 or 7-1 as well, right? Just because if you look at the size of these guys, it's crazy. But he did a job at 7. Like, it felt like a natural position for the guy. And it just makes sense afterwards to hear that he's actually been training with the forwards. That it blew my mind hearing that. I never thought we'd go with something like that.
We could do an 8 split because you could have 7 forwards and Andre Esterhuizen, who can then just slot in as a forward. And then you can just play Grant Williams on the wing because he's done that before. Anything happens to your scrum off, Grant can slot in there.
Well, Chesney can play 9 as well. Chesney can play hooker as well. Well, Chesney threw in last season, right? So he can play at hooker.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see in one of these international games an 8 split.
No, that would be ridiculous. I wouldn't do that. Like,
I can see it happening.
That's too far. It's too far. Nah.
Nothing is too far for Rassi. Whenever you think, have you seen it all? He shows something new.
That means we have to take off Pieter-Steph to tackle, and that's not happening. Over my dead body, are we taking off Pieter-Steph to tackle? Because apparently he'll be back for the second test against Italy.
I see it happening.
Okay, we'll respectfully agree to disagree. We'll put it.
So he'll be back for the Italian second test. Okay, so I think it's happening this weekend. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not happening. I'll put a dope on
him. You owe me dope.
But I'll get her back.
Okay.
Because I owe you two dopes. So
2 dopes. Yeah.
So I'll just get one back then. Fair enough. Who's the guys that you think we might see this weekend? Because obviously the squad's being announced literally tomorrow, which is actually today in regards to when the video is coming out. Literally, we're posting this video 2 hours before the squad's actually getting announced. So just a quick talking point. Who do you reckon we'll see? I reckon we get a couple of Bulls guys. Probably see a Volker Low. Erge Snyman, who's obviously played for Leinster in the final. I think we see Andre Pollard, Thomas de Toy, Faf de Klerk. Is Damian Willem's ban now done?
I don't know.
Well, Damian's not going to play 15 because it has to be Willie Leroux because then it gets him one cap closer to the 100. And it's at Loftus.
Yeah. So wait, the second Italian test, if he plays this weekend, then that would be his 100th at Loftus.
If he plays that one, but I don't think Willie will play 2 in a row.
Unless they put him on the bench for the first one, and the second one they start him, and then they just bring him on, get his cap, and then they pull him for the second.
I think they want to play Willie, Willemse, and Aplile Fassi. They'll probably want to give all of them a start and all of them a game on the bench. So I reckon Willie starts this one, and then he finds himself on the bench for the other Italian game or for the Georgia game.
Okay. Yeah, so what you thinking more rotation for this Italian game? Like we're going to see a few boys.
I think we try and go full strength again with a couple of other guys in. So, for instance, maybe a Asenati and Klabakane out with Volko coming in, Neetling Fushia out with Thomas de Toy coming in. Sasha maybe goes out for Andre Pollard to get a game again. Morne van der Berg out for Faf de Klerk. I reckon we see Faf de Klerk this weekend. I think Marnus van der Merwe goes out for Bongi to come in. A lot of the guys that kind of just rested this weekend, but then still keeping a lot of the others. So let's say I still reckon we see Oxenchair. I reckon we see Eben and Loot still. Loot had such a good performance. They probably want to see that combination again. Sia will probably be back for this weekend. I reckon Vincent Chuka gets another go. Then the 9-10 combo I just said. I think we still go with Damian Dialinda and Jesse Creel. Scrum cap Mafia stays the same. I reckon we see Edwell, Kainan Moody, and a Mapimpi maybe in the second Italian game and a Georgia game. So I reckon the overall bulk of the team will be the same, except for a couple of interesting parts. I think Erge Snyman will be on the bench with Ruan Orkia as well, because that takes up your lock positions and gives you a Lucy on the bench.
Just listening to you mention those names of the guys that didn't play is scary.
Yeah.
Like that was a solid team this past weekend, but when you look at who can come in still, that's a scary thought for any team facing the Boks.
Yeah. After this weekend, I'm like, we'll put 50 on anyone.
Well, I mean, did you? I don't know if you saw the
I mentioned all of those guys, and you're saying that it's a scary team. I didn't even mention Peter Steff because he's not even playing. Jasper Wiese, is he going to play? Is he fit again? Grant Williams, is he going to play? I took out Sasha. Bro, can you believe it? I still haven't talked about Damian Willemse potentially. Dude, scary.
Well, our SA under 20s put 70 on Australia yesterday.
That was sick. I mean, the fact that we lost to them in the rugby championship, and then you put like a 60-point beating on the team. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I think we play England next, so that'll be quite interesting. You guys must let us know in the comments if you want us to cover some of that. I'm quite knowledgeable when it comes to the schoolboy rugby stuff. So a lot of those players I've watched play, 2 years ago in high school. So it's great to see them on the park and, serving their country like they did this weekend. I mean, to put 70 points on an Australian team that you lost to initially, that means they're putting in some sort of graft.
No, it was a sexy performance. Literally every time they touched the ball, it looked like they was going to score. And then obviously it's not just the Boks, right? We always also have the first New Zealand-France game. A lot to look forward to. We've got another British and Irish Lions game. Well, we have a British and Irish Lions game on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Looking forward to that one. They looked a lot better against the Western Force. Like the Force put up a solid performance in the first 40 and then just got absolutely fucking dog-walked for the rest of it. Anyway, but we said we won't keep you guys too long for this one. This was our post-match, almost a press conference, little podcast for you guys. We spoke to each other. We'll maybe see if we can get one out this weekend in person if we decide to watch the game together. But yeah, people, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. And also do remember to drop in the comments, what was your takeaways of the game? Do you like the merch that Frosty's wearing? Obviously, we're not selling it or anything, but if you guys want us to sell it and you want to support us that way, we'd be more than happy to sell it to you guys as well. So yeah, enjoy your day. Stay tuned for the squad lineup. So it's a happy little Tuesday episode for you guys, but we'll be back on Wednesday as well, and then see if we can get in touch with you guys on Friday. Have a good one. Ciao.